I thought love meant sacrifice. That's why, when my wife's sister needed emergency surgery, I didn't hesitate. The bill was staggering, $25,000, but I drained my savings, maxed my card, and told myself family comes first. My wife cried when I handed her the receipt. She called me a hero. For a moment, I believed I was. But when the surgery was over and her sister was on the road to recovery, the invitations for the celebration came out, except mine. You understand, right? My wife said gently, almost too gently. She needs positive energy only. And right now, your mood is just too heavy. My mood? After emptying my pockets for her family, I was labeled bad energy. I stood there in silence, numb. My wife kissed my cheek, promised she'd bring me cake, and left in her new dress, laughter trailing behind her as if I were nothing but a shadow. That night, alone in our apartment, I stared at the empty spaces where my savings once were. I'd sacrificed everything, and they didn't even want me in the room. Something inside me cracked, not loud, not violent, just a quiet fracture that spread through my chest. The next morning, without telling anyone, I booked a flight, a solo trip, somewhere far where no one knew my name. If they didn't need me, maybe I didn't need them either. I switched off my phone the moment I landed. Days blurred into nights on sunlit beaches, the ocean washing away pieces of my anger. For the first time in months, I felt invisible in the best way possible, free. Then, on the third day, I made a mistake. I turned my phone back on. There were dozens of missed calls. My wife, her mother, even her sister. Messages filled my inbox. Where are you? The hospital called. There's still $10,000 unpaid. You promised! Promised. As if my sacrifice had been a down payment on endless debt. They didn't ask if I was okay. They didn't ask why I left. All they wanted was more. That night, sitting at the bar overlooking the ocean, I met Elena. She was traveling alone, too. Her laughter edged with sadness. We started talking, two strangers with broken pieces hidden beneath polite smiles. She told me about her failed marriage, about giving too much to someone who never gave back. Her words were my reflection. One drink turned into two, conversation into confessions. When she touched my hand, I didn't pull away. It wasn't about desire. It was about being seen, being valued. In her hotel room, beneath the hum of the ceiling fan, I didn't feel guilt. I felt alive. For the first time in years, someone looked at me not as a wallet, not as a burden, but as a man. The morning after, I stared at the ceiling, torn between the storm waiting at home and the calm I'd found in Elena's arms. She stirred beside me and whispered, "Don't go back to people who don't see your worth." Her words echoed through me long after I left. When I finally returned, my wife was waiting, fury in her eyes. "How could you abandon us? How could you disappear when we needed you most?" I laughed, not cruelly, but bitterly. "Needed me? You needed my money. You never needed me." She froze. For the first time, she had no words. I didn't confess about Elena that night. The affair wasn't the betrayal, it was the symptom. The real betrayal had happened long before, when my sacrifices became invisible, when my love was measured only in dollars. In the weeks that followed, our marriage unraveled. Arguments turned into silence, silence into distance. Eventually, I walked out, carrying only the remnants of my dignity. Melissa, my wife, kept the apartment. She kept her family, but I kept something more valuable. The knowledge that love isn't sacrifice when it's one-sided. Elena and I stayed in touch. Not every story of cheating ends in love, but ours did. Not perfect, not fairy tale, but real. She reminded me that being valued isn't selfish. It's survival. And now, when I think about the $25,000, about the party I wasn't invited to, about the smirk on my wife's face as she left me behind, I don't feel bitterness. I feel gratitude. Because losing everything was the only way I could finally see how little I'd meant to them, and how much I could still mean to someone else.